Parallel Lives. What if you chose differently? Episode 1. The Train You Didn't Take. It was a rainy Tuesday afternoon when Daniel Reyes found himself standing on the platform of Central Station. The towering clock above read 3:58 p.m. The rain drummed a steady rhythm on the glass ceiling, echoing across the nearly empty station. His train to Riverside, where a lucrative job awaited him, would depart in just 2 minutes. He was early, yet something gnawed at him, a weight in his chest, a pull towards indecision. On the opposite platform stood Elena, his best friend since college, suitcase in hand. She was leaving for Florence to pursue her dream of becoming an art historian. That same dream she'd confessed only weeks ago with trembling hands and sparkling eyes. 2 trains, 2 lives, 2 futures. Daniel's phone buzzed. A message from Mason, his would-be boss. Looking forward to seeing you at the Riverside office tomorrow. We're ready to start this exciting chapter together. He sighed. The salary was incredible, the title impressive. It was everything he'd been working towards for 5 years. But then Elena looked up. Their eyes met through the light drizzle and the faint fog of the station air. For a second, the world shrank to just the 2 of them. "Come with me." Her gaze seemed to plead. He swallowed. 3:59 p.m. The loudspeaker announced, "Train 14 to Riverside now boarding, platform 4. And in that suspended moment, he asked himself, what if I chose differently? The life where Daniel took the train. He glanced at Elena one last time, heart pounding. Then, as if by instinct, he turned away and walked briskly toward platform 4. The doors hissed shut behind him. The train lurched forward. Daniel stared out the rain-streaked window. Riverside awaited him, a shiny new apartment, a corner office, colleagues in sharp suits. And yet, as the miles blurred past, a hollow space grew inside him. The memory of Elena's face at the station clung to his mind. Months passed. His days became a routine of meetings, reports, and polite smiles. His career soared. He was soon promoted to vice president of strategy. But in quiet moments, when the city lights flickered through his apartment window, he'd reach for his phone, thumb hovering over Elena's name. He followed her life through tiny glowing squares, photos of sunlit piazzas, dusty libraries, vibrant art galleries. In one, she posed before the Uffizi Gallery, radiant. In another, she laughed beside a young Italian man named Luca. Daniel never sent a message. Years later, at a conference in Berlin, an old classmate asked casually, "Didn't you and Elena have a thing once? Funny how life takes us places, huh?" Daniel smiled thinly. Yes, funny indeed. The life where Daniel chose Elena. At 3:59 p.m., Daniel sprinted across the wet tiles to platform 2. Elena's eyes widened in disbelief as he grabbed her hand. "I'm coming with you!" Her suitcase tumbled over as she flung her arms around him. The train to Florence pulled out with them side by side. The next months were chaotic. They rented a tiny flat with peeling paint and a leaky faucet. Money was scarce. Daniel took odd translation jobs while Elena immersed herself in Renaissance art. But every night, over cheap wine and pasta, they built something neither of them could name. Joy, perhaps, or simply home. Daniel's career ambitions shifted. He became a freelance writer, finding beauty in words rather than boardrooms. When Elena's first exhibit opened, he stood beaming beside her, the proudest man in the gallery. Years later, they married under the Tuscan sun. Their life was simple, filled with art, love, and the occasional argument over whether the cat should be allowed on the kitchen counter. One crisp autumn evening, as they walked the Arno River, Daniel whispered, "I almost didn't get on that train with you." Elena smiled, leaning into him. "But you did, and that's all that matters." Episode 2, The Love You Didn't Accept. Maya Lin still remembered the exact words. "I love you. I always have." It was their final day of high school. Alex Carter stood beneath the old oak tree, a trembling envelope in his hands. Maya's heart had pounded so loud she barely heard the rest. But the weight of expectation, college, career, family pride, pressed hard on her. Relationships were distractions. "I'm sorry," she whispered, handing back the letter. "I can't." Alex's eyes dimmed. With a nod, he walked away. The life where Maya said no. Maya went on to excel at Stanford, then became a renowned neurosurgeon. Her days were filled with surgeries and scientific breakthroughs. But sometimes, late at night, she'd pull out an old shoebox of memories. At the bottom, that letter remained, unopened. One summer, while attending a medical conference, she spotted a familiar face across the hotel lobby. Alex, older, a gentle crinkle around his eyes, holding hands with a woman and a small child. Their eyes met. For a fleeting second, something unspoken passed between them. A whispered, "What if?" Maya smiled, then turned away. Life was full, but not complete. The life where Maya said yes. "I love you. I always have." And this time, Maya stepped forward, tears brimming. "Love you too." The years that followed weren't easy. College was a juggling act of textbooks and long-distance calls, but they persisted. When Maya graduated, Alex proposed beneath that same oak tree. They built a life of small joys, Saturday morning pancakes, midnight talks, road trips to nowhere. Maya still became a brilliant neurosurgeon, but now she had someone waiting at home, a hand to hold through the darkest nights. When their daughter was born, Alex whispered, "She has your eyes," and Maya often thought, "I almost said no." Episode 3, The Degree You Almost Didn't Finish. Liam Patel was 3 months from graduation when his father fell gravely ill. The medical bills were crushing. "You should quit school," his uncle urged. "Come work at the factory. The family needs you." Liam stared at his half-written thesis on renewable energy. He loved his father dearly, but giving up his dream felt like erasing everything they had hoped for. 2 paths lay before him. The life where Liam dropped out. He packed his books into dusty boxes and donned a factory uniform. The work was grueling, repetitive, but it kept food on the table. Years passed in a blur of 12-hour shifts and unpaid overtime. One stormy night, as Liam walked home, he passed a bookstore window. Inside was a display, "The Future of Renewable Energy," authored by a former classmate. A pang of regret pierced him. That could have been me, he thought. The life where Liam pushed through. Against all odds, Liam stayed. He studied by his father's bedside, worked nights at the campus cafe. His father watched with pride as Liam crossed the graduation stage. "You did it, son." Years later, Liam became a leading voice in green technology. His innovations powered entire cities sustainably. At a conference in Tokyo, a journalist asked, "What's your proudest moment?" Liam smiled. "Choosing to finish. Final reflection. The many lives we carry." Somewhere in the vast web of existence, countless parallel lives unfold, paths born from choices made or not made. A word spoken or held back. A train taken or missed. a love embraced or left behind. We all live with these silent echoes of what could have been. But perhaps the deepest truth is this: every life we choose shapes us. And while we may glance longingly at parallel roads, we walk the one we have, step by step, choice by choice. As Daniel, Maya, and Liam learned, there is no perfect path, only the courage to walk the one before you with an open heart. So when you stand at your next crossroads, remember, what if you chose differently, and what if, right now, you still can? The end.